You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good Thursday afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4.
Well, today, people in Madison and Fitchburg are receiving higher property taxes. Last year, voters approved 2 referendums for the Madison School District at the cost of hundreds of millions of dollars.
Now, despite overwhelming support for the referendums, many residents tonight are experiencing sticker shock.
And today, we are bringing you team coverage. Eric Franke is breaking down the numbers and what residents signed up for. Eric?
Brady and Susan, before we get to the tax impacts and background, people in Madison and Fitchburg, as you mentioned, saw 2 questions on their ballots last year. One asked for $507 million to renovate or replace 10 schools. Madison Schools said those buildings had critical HVAC and plumbing needs. Madison Schools promised updated classrooms, renovated libraries, cafeterias. The other referendum asked for $100 million. That was for operating expenses, and the programs would be for 4th K and early learning, multilingual education, middle school career exploration, and expanded extracurricular activities. Now, over 4 years, the average homeowner in Madison will pay $3,800, and voters overwhelmingly approved those referendums. About 70% of people who responded to the questions approved both. Brady, Susan?
Eric, thank you. And even though most approved the referendums, many are feeling differently now that it's time to pay.
News 3 Now's Tanisha Shaw spoke with a community member. Tanisha, I understand that community member voted for both of the referendums.
Hi, Brady and Susan. Yes, I spoke to a woman that has been owning a home since 2019 here in Madison. Next year, she'll have to pay an additional $750 towards property taxes. Marina Witz voted for both the operational and facility referendums for MMSD. Witz says she always tracks how much money she gives the city of Madison, and she also told me that she feels like there is an increase every single year. However, as long as she is able to make ends meet, she told me that she is okay with her money going towards Madison students.
I would say that there's no easier way to support your community in such a hyper-local way. You are investing in your community, and you're going to see the dividends pay out some way.
Everyone does not agree with Witz, though. On News 3 Now's Facebook page, more than 100 people reacted to their property tax increase. They left comments saying, quote, "Mine go up every year. Eventually, people will be taxed out of their homes. I live in half a duplex and still pay an insane amount." And another person said, "Another $1,000 from last year. Retirement can't happen if I want to stay in my house." Brady and Susan, I'm going to send it back to you for now.
We'll continue to follow it, Tanisha. Thank you. And we'll bring you coverage of voters' reaction to the property taxes throughout our evening newscasts. To receive alerts when our team coverage is about to air, download the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
Let's turn now to your first warn forecast. Our meteorologists have been tracking this all week, and Blaze Keller is here with a look at that Arctic air on the way. Blaze?
That's right. It is set to move on in starting Friday night. So we've got a little over 24 hours before temperatures will really start to cool on down. As expected, there's a little bit of snow making its way across southwestern parts of Wisconsin. This is likely where a lot of that light snow is going to stay throughout the rest of this evening into the overnight hours. Maybe we get a few flurries back into parts of Dane County, Iowa, Greene, Rock, Columbia. You're kind of getting the picture here across central parts of Wisconsin, but the accumulating snow, while minors, likely going to stay off into extreme parts of Grant County. We're looking at single digits to low to mid-teens tonight underneath mostly cloudy conditions, but in comes the cold air. As I mentioned, started Friday night through Sunday night. Alert day conditions through the weekend. Already starting to see cold weather advisories popping up across northwestern Wisconsin. I wouldn't be surprised if we're placed underneath a cold weather advisory as we head into sometime tomorrow with extreme cold possible warnings issued as well. And again, these are replacing wind chill advisories. We have a whole write-up on that in our Beyond the Barometer section on our website. We'll talk about just how cold we get and how long it lasts coming up in the full forecast.
Blaze. Breaking news today. The man who drunkenly crashed his car, killing a 67-year-old woman earlier this year, has pleaded guilty. Ryan Bertrand pleaded guilty to homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. He previously faced nearly a dozen charges. Those were dismissed. The crash happened on March 6th near the intersection of South Gammon and Raymond Road. Sentencing is scheduled for February 20th, 2026.
A bicyclist is dead after a crash this morning in Mineral Point. The Iowa County Sheriff says the incident happened at about 5:45 near Dodge Street, just south of Commerce Street. A truck with a snowplow was headed north in the area where there wasn't lighting. The 26-year-old driver hit a bicyclist who was identified as 68-year-old Garth Scheel of Mineral Point. He died at the hospital. The trucker is cooperating with police. Roads reopened nearly 5 hours later.
In Beloit, police are investigating after someone shot and killed a woman. The shooting happened just before 5:30 Wednesday night on Colony Court. That's over by Beloit Memorial Hospital. First responders took the victim to the hospital where she died. Police are calling the woman's death a homicide. Anyone with information about the shooting should call Beloit's non-emergency dispatch. That number is on channel3000.com.
The 32-year-old woman charged with killing a DeForest native in Milwaukee last month will go to trial. Online court records show a judge bound Jamaica Mills over for trial at a hearing yesterday. The Milwaukee County District Attorney charged Mills with one count of first-degree reckless homicide with use of a dangerous weapon. A criminal complaint alleges Mills and 26-year-old Ariel Spillner were smoking marijuana when Mills became paranoid and she thought Spillner was going to stab her. The complaint says Spillner had scissors in her hand and was planning to cut her dog's hair. Prosecutors say Mills then shot Spillner and then accidentally shot herself. Mills will have an arraignment on January 9th.
In our health news, 1 week after advisors to the CDC voted to abandon universal hepatitis B vaccines for newborns, the Wisconsin Department of Health Services is releasing its own recommendations. Today, the DHS says it will continue to recommend the shot for all newborns, despite the change from the CDC's advisors. Members of the panel that made the guideline change were handpicked by the Trump administration's HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Kennedy has previously falsely claimed the shots are the likely culprit of autism. In the announcement today, DHS's chief medical officer said in part, "Today, there is no new evidence that would justify changes to this long-standing recommendation that has and continues to protect the health of infants."
McFarland has a new police chief. Interim Chief Brian Redman will take on the role full-time. Redman is a retired lieutenant from the department who served from 2006 to 2020. He led the department as interim chief in 2010 and again from late 2020 until his retirement in the spring of 2021. Redman suspended his retirement in October of last year. The McFarland Police and Fire Commission voted to promote him yesterday. Still ahead at 4, it's Thursday. That means the weekend is almost here, and Josh Spreiter is working for the weekend.
And he's showing us 3 things for you and your family to do in the 608 when Live at 4 returns.
Plus, Blaze returns with a full look at your First Warn forecast, how cold it could get during those weekend events. News 3 Now, Live at 4. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now, Live at 4.
It's Thursday, which means we're working for the frozen weekend in the 608.
Yeah, what a Friday Eve, y'all. Josh Spreiter is in the studio with the very festive weekend planner for your family.
Christmas is officially 2 weeks away from today, and our 3 things to do this weekend in the 608 is now full-on holidays. Right now, festively decorated trees are transforming the Lincoln Talman House in Janesville into a winter wonderland. The Rock County Historical Society's annual holiday tree show is happening through the 28th, featuring more than 100 trees decked out by local businesses, nonprofits, and families. Guests can explore the mansion, enjoy a scavenger hunt for kids, and see a stunning 20-foot tree at the center of it all. The fun continues next door with Santa and Mrs. Claus, and discounts are available for the Rotary Botanical Gardens Holiday Light Show. Tickets and hours are online at rchs.us. Fitchburg's Holiday Lights Tour and weekend-long Jubilee is back for its 6th year. The celebration has special events and deals at local businesses all weekend long. Homes can sign up to be part of the tour, and participants will receive a numbered yard sign for community voting. The top vote getter wins gift baskets from the Fitchburg Chamber. Families are invited to drive the route, enjoy the lights, and vote for their favorite displays. Saturday is also the second to last holiday market at the Monona Terrace. This is put on by the Dane County Farmers Market. Doors open at 7:30 in the morning. More than 65 local vendors will offer Wisconsin-grown produce, meats, cheeses, baked goods. Don't forget about those holiday favorites like wreaths, soaps, and candles. Cookbooks, merchandise, and gift cards are also available. For more on what's happening this weekend in the 608, just go to channel3000.com. In the 608, I'm Josh Breiter, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Josh. Busy weekend on the way, and whoo, is it going to be frigid outside, Blaze. Maybe choose some of the indoor events if you can.
Yes, yeah. Try to limit your time and your pet's time outdoors over the weekend, especially during the morning when those wind chill values are going to be their coldest. We'll likely not even get into those double digits for high temperatures, not only Saturday, but Sunday as well. As that bitter cold moves on in, that moves in starting Friday night, and we'll track it out on Future Track here with our latest incoming Arctic high. So watch as our wind chill values really cool on down as we kick off Saturday morning. Anywhere between, I would say, 20 to 30 degrees below zero is what we will likely feel waking up Saturday morning if you're up early. By the afternoon, when likely all of us will be up, anywhere between 15 to 25 degrees below zero is what many of us will feel. And again, this is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This is when we're normally at our warmest. And then Saturday night into Sunday continues to look as though this is going to be the coldest period over the weekend, when our wind chill values for a lot of southern Wisconsin ranging anywhere from 25 to 35 degrees below zero. And in that time, or with those wind chill values, which are a factor of not only our air temperatures, but also our wind, which we're expecting to be anywhere between 15 to 25 miles per hour, that puts the frostbite time within about 10 to 30 minutes. So again, really try to limit your time and your pet's time outdoors. Cover up as much skin as possible, especially where your skin is more thin, like your ears, your nose, your lips, and your fingertips. They'll likely succumb to frostbite sooner than everywhere else. Already starting to see those cold weather advisories being issued for northwestern parts of Wisconsin. Nothing here yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're placed underneath a cold weather advisory and then further into an extreme cold warning as we get closer to the weekend. And again, these were replaced about a little over a year ago. So as of October 1st, 2024, our wind chill watch, warning, or advisories have been replaced with an extreme cold watch or an extreme cold warning, or an extreme or cold weather advisory like what we are seeing issued right now across northwestern parts of Wisconsin. This was a kind of new way that the National Weather Service is working to better articulate the weather threats that are being potentially over an area. So if you don't see new wind chill advisories, that is the reason why. Could be some good news on the horizon, though. Starting to see some of those reds return to parts of southern Wisconsin. That's a warmer than average temperature trend, sitting at about a 40 to 50% chance as we get closer to Christmas. So our pattern that has been keeping us on the cooler side pretty much through most of December may be starting to break down as we get closer to Christmas. So maybe we'll start to get warmer a little bit. That could lead to some more rain, some more snow chances. So we'll just have to take it day by day, but we'll go from the single digits over the weekend to the 20s by Monday, 30s by Tuesday, 40s by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. That's when we could see a rain-snow mix moving in Wednesday into Thursday, and then we look to quiet down, but still remain in those double digits at least as we go into that following weekend.
It'll be nice to be back to normal. We haven't used the word normal in quite a while.
I don't even want to imagine what it's going to be like waking up Sunday morning.
I know.
Negatives, whatever, that's too cold.
Just go back to bed.
Yeah, good advice.
Exactly.
Thanks, Blaze.
Well, you might find the extra money you pay while using Instacart to get groceries is worth it when you just don't have a lot of time to shop yourself.
But it turns out you could be paying more than others who are buying the exact same groceries. We'll show you what a Consumer Reports investigation found coming up.
Plus, we'll take a look at the video showing the massive amount of rain people in Washington are dealing with and tell you how many people are potentially at risk of floods. In national news today, heavy rain from an atmospheric river is slamming parts of Washington state, creating potentially catastrophic flooding. The governor there has declared an emergency, saying some 100,000 people there face potential evacuations as the flood danger rises. Many are in Skagit County, where the entire 100-year floodplain has been ordered to evacuate. Several rivers in Washington hit major flood stage, the most severe level, as more than 10 inches of rain drained into the waterways. Some are still rising and threatening record levels.
Reaction is pouring in after President Trump announced the seizure of an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela.
It's an escalation of the pressure campaign on Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro and signals an effort to go after one of the nation's largest revenue sources. Natalie Brand reports from Washington.
The Trump administration released dramatic video of members of an elite U.S. Coast Guard unit rappelling from a helicopter to board and seize an oil tanker just after it left a Venezuelan port Wednesday.
It was seized for a very good reason.
The White House says the Justice Department requested and received approval to seize the tanker headed to Cuba, which had for years been sanctioned due to alleged involvement in an illicit oil shipping network supporting foreign terrorist organizations.
The vessel will go to a U.S. port, and the United States does intend to seize the oil. However, there is a legal process for the seizure of that oil, and that legal process will be followed.
This seizure marks an escalation in a pressure campaign against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's regime. Tensions remain heightened over the U.S. military buildup off the coast of Venezuela and more than 20 strikes on alleged drug boats.
Regime change, even though Maduro's a bad guy, I'd like to see him go. But us trying to force it is never been successful U.S. policy.
The Trump administration, which has accused Maduro of narco-terrorism, does not view his leadership as legitimate, and President Trump has said he believes Maduro's days as president are numbered.
We are not involved at all.
Venezuela's opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, spoke in Norway one day after a ceremony to award her the Nobel Peace Prize.
I believe that President Trump's actions have been decisive to reach the point where we are right now, in which the regime is weaker than ever.
Venezuela's government, in a statement, called the oil tanker seizure a, quote, shameless robbery, accusing the U.S. of trying to go after its oil. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Hundreds of people in South Carolina are quarantining because of a measles outbreak, including children. Yesterday, the state's Department of Public Health confirmed a significant jump in cases. The state's latest outbreak is driving the second surge of measles in the U.S. At least 114 cases have been reported since October. The vast majority of cases are occurring in unvaccinated people, but at least one person who got sick is fully vaccinated.
Let's take a live look at the U.S. Capitol, where the Senate failed to advance competing Democratic and Republican measures to address health care costs. Senators remain divided mostly along party lines ahead of a significant price hike for millions of Americans' health care. Democrats are seeking an extension of enhanced tax credits under the Affordable Care Act, which was their main demand during the government shutdown.
Let's take a look at stocks. The numbers on Wall Street today, a mixed bag. The Dow closed up 646 points. The Nasdaq was down 60 and the S&P 500 is up 14.
A Consumer Reports investigation into the prices you pay on a popular delivery platform found the same items purchased at the same store by Instacart can vary user to user.
The difference can really add up. Jolene Kent has more on what exactly is going on.
One product, two different prices? That's what a new report found about the price you pay on Instacart. Multiple shoppers buying from the same store at the same time paid prices that varied by more than 20%. The investigation, carried out by Consumer Reports and progressive think tank Groundwork Collaborative, found that Instacart, a popular app that sends gig workers into stores to do your shopping, charged customers different prices on the same items. The report says at one Washington, D.C. grocery store, for example, a dozen eggs added to virtual carts at the same time rang up at 5 different prices, ranging from $3.99 to $4.79. Nationwide, prices in the study varied by 7% on average, which could total $1,200 more per year for a family of 4. The study did not find a clear reason why certain customers got shown certain prices.
It's the deceptive and unpredictable nature of these pricing experiments. Americans don't realize they're guinea pigs in these experiments.
Groundwork Collaborative Executive Director Lindsay Owens.
Prices are already high, and now Instacart really just pouring gasoline on this affordability crisis.
Grocery prices have skyrocketed 25% in the last 5 years.
How can you comparison shop if you don't know that you're getting the real price?
This is such a critical point. The lack of transparency in this Instacart market completely erodes consumers' ability to comparison shop. The price tag is really long gone at this point.
Instacart responded saying these tests are not dynamic pricing. Prices never change in real time, and added that retailers have long tested prices in their physical stores and that 10 do so in the app.
Coming up on Live at 4, Blaze Keller takes another check of your First Warn forecast.
And we will continue our team coverage of the sticker shock that people in Madison are feeling tonight after property tax hikes they voted for.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good Thursday afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 4.
Now, today, people in Madison and Fitchburg are receiving higher property taxes. So last year, voters approved 2 referendums for the Madison School District at the cost of hundreds of millions of dollars.
And despite overwhelming support for the referendums, many residents tonight are experiencing sticker shock.
This afternoon, we're bringing you team coverage. Eric Franke is breaking down the numbers and what residents signed up for. Eric?
That's right, Brady. Susan, before we talk the tax impact, we'll take you back to last year when residents in Madison and Fitchburg saw 2 questions on their ballots. One asked for $507 million. That was to renovate or replace 10 schools. The Madison district said those buildings had critical HVAC and plumbing needs. Madison schools promised updated classrooms, renovated libraries, cafeterias, and the other was about operating expenses to the tune of $100 million. Now, the programs would be for 4K and early learning, multilingual education, middle school career exploration, and expanded extracurricular activities as well. And over 4 years, there you see it. The average homeowner in Madison set to pay some $3,800 on average. Voters, as we mentioned, overwhelmingly approved those referendums. About 70% of the people who responded to the questions actually approved both. Susan, Brady?
Eric, thank you. And tonight, the Madison School District says it knows that property tax increase is hitting homeowners hard.
But they tell our Arman Rahman this was planned when they voted to approve the referendum and is a side effect of a larger statewide issue. Arman?
That's right, Brady and Susan. As Eric explained, finance staff with the district did acknowledge that this is the highest year of the referendum tax hike for homeowners, but they say the district's hands are tied with how the state legislature funds schools or how it doesn't, leaving them with no option but to go to residents.
Over the last 15 years, the legislature has backed away from the state's commitment to share in the cost of local public schools. The result of that is for every less dollar in state aids to operate a local school, you have to increase your property taxes. And you can only do that if the voters vote yes, like the voters in Madison did. So it's a broken school finance system.
Now, next year, the recurring referendum amount is $20 million compared to $30 million this year. But Soldner says if the legislature provides additional state aid like it used to do, those property taxes would go down dollar for dollar for every additional dollars in state aid. Now, what can you do if you want to get the cost of your home reduced after this? I talked to the realtor in Madison to see if there are any options and have more from him tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
We will see you at 10, Armand. Thank you. And we'll continue to bring you coverage of voters' reaction to the property taxes throughout our evening newscasts. To receive alerts when our team coverage is about to air, download the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
We are bracing for a very cold weekend. Blaze, do you have your ski mask and a Christmas Story snowsuit ready?
No. No. Ralphie, where he can't even put his arms down? You know what Ralphie should have done? He should have just stayed inside. And that's what you guys should do when we are sitting in single-digit temperatures this weekend. We'll take it in on Radar 3000 down into the Darlington area. That's where we do have a little bit of snow beginning to wrap up around Shullsburg right along Highway 11 there in parts of Lafayette County, south of Wyoda. This is going to continue to push off towards the south and east. Otherwise, we are looking ahead to that cold. Staying cloudy tonight, temperatures dipping into those single digits to teens with a little bit of light snow possible, mainly across parts of Grant County, but possibly slipping into southwestern parts of Lafayette County there. Dangerously cold temperatures and wind chills expected this weekend. Already parts of Wisconsin underneath that cold weather advisory. And I just put on Facebook, so if you guys want to go ahead and read it, these are changes that were made last year in terms of relaying the imminent weather made by the National Weather Service. These changes occurred back in October, replacing wind chill alerts. So when we see these cold weather advisories or warnings over the weekend, don't be shocked. You can read more about that change in Beyond the Barometer. We talked about the extreme cold this weekend. We'll touch on it again, but we'll also touch on a few rain, snow chances as well in the extended forecast.
Thank you, Blaze. We continue to follow breaking news. Beloit police are providing new information about last night's homicide. Police say the victim was 25 years old and she was shot just before 5:30 in the area of Colony Court. Police say this was an isolated incident and there is no danger to the community. BPD says it will provide more information after its investigation has finished.
Another Democrat is joining the already crowded Wisconsin gubernatorial primary. Joel Brennan announced today he is running to succeed Governor Tony Evers. The 55-year-old worked as Secretary of the State Department of Administration from 2019 to 2022. He's currently the president of the Greater Milwaukee Committee. Brennan also spent 11 years as executive director of Milwaukee's Discovery World, the state's largest science museum.
Currently, there are more than 10 people in the Democratic primary. The biggest names are former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, current Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, State Representative Francesca Hong, State Senator Kelda Roys, and former State Economic Development Director Missy Hughes. On the Republican side, the field is significantly smaller. Only 2 people are running thus far, Washington County Executive Josh Schoeman and Congressman Tom Tiffany.
Madison police are investigating after reports of shots fired last night in the city's Greenbush neighborhood, where many UW students live. Police received multiple calls for the incident on Regent and Park Street. Officers found several shell casings when they arrived. No one was hurt, and there wasn't any damage to property.
In Rock County, the Sheriff's Office is warning of scam calls. The Sheriff's Office says it's aware of several fraudulent phone calls to people in the county where callers identify as a Rock County lieutenant. The caller has been using fake names but giving out real phone numbers associated with the Sheriff's Office. The callers will say you need to send money to clear a legal matter like missing jury duty or an outstanding warrant. The Sheriff's Office says personnel will never call you demanding money to solve a problem. Anyone who receives suspicious calls should report it to the County Communications Center.
Cryptocurrency kiosk scams are ramping up and increasingly targeting victims. Our consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn shares how AARP Wisconsin is advocating for new legislation to protect consumers.
AARP Wisconsin wants to join 17 other states pushing for new protections against cryptocurrency kiosk scams. Now, they say fraudsters typically pose as government officials or investors and convince victims to convert their money into crypto at the kiosks. Once they do, their money is gone and often untraceable. Legislation would include a daily limit on transactions, a cap on kiosk fees, and allow victims to get their money back. The daily transaction limit represents a critical component of the proposed protections. And the FBI reports over $240 million lost to crypto kiosk scams in just the first 6 months of this year.
Michelle Renee, thank you. Last year, the FBI reported over $5.8 billion lost to cryptocurrency kiosk scams. The $240 million from the first 6 months of this year has doubled last year's total. And you can see more of Michelle Renee's consumer reports during News 3 Now this morning, and you can wake up with her every Saturday and Sunday by tuning into weekend mornings right here on Channel 3.
Well, coming up on Live at 4, we're looking ahead to the 2026 mayoral election in Middleton.
Middleton Alder Lisa Hanero joins us to talk about what her priorities would be if voters elect her.
And our senior Packers writer Jason Wilde brings us analysis from Green Bay ahead of the team's game against the Broncos.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Welcome back, everyone. Middleton's District 6 Alder Lisa Hanero will try to unseat the current mayor, Emily Kuhn, in the upcoming spring election. It's coming up on April 7th.
Mayor Kuhn was our guest on a previous Live at 4. Well, today we welcome her challenger, Lisa Hanero. Thank you for being on with us.
Hi, Lisa, welcome.
Thanks for the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, well, first question, why did you decide to run?
I decided to run because I have a vision of Middleton as a city where our needs are met, where our sense of community is strong, and where our people have access to good information about what our city government is doing and how it affects all of us. And this is a vision I share with the community leaders who've been approaching me during the year to encourage me to run. It's shared by the dozens of volunteers who have signed up to help with my campaign, and it's shared by the now hundreds of people who have signed my nominating papers so that my name will be on the ballot on April 7th.
I know population control is one of your big topics, and we all know that Dane County is one of the fastest growing counties in the state, and everybody seems to be moving to Middleton. What specific initiatives are you planning to plan smartly in Middleton?
And just to make a minor correction, population control, I know it was reported on your station that was part of my platform, but it isn't really. I acknowledged in my press release that our population is growing, and so we need to change what we do in Middleton to adapt to that growth.
I appreciate that clarification.
Yes, thank you. And so as our population grows, our services will need to change, our housing will need to develop. Thinking in terms of population alone, by 2050, we are projected to get to 37,000 people. Right now we're at 24,000, so that's a 54% increase. That's huge. And if we want to be able to accommodate that growth, which is our obligation as a city, we need to meet the demand for housing for all the people who are wanting to live in Middleton and work in Middleton. We need to hit a target of at least 318 units of new housing every year between now and 2040. That's our target as established by the regional housing strategy that Dane County put out. And we're doing a pretty good job. In my district alone, we have 3 developments going in that most of which will be single family housing. There will be some multifamily and also some commercial, but that's all on farmland. And we can't continue to grow like that. We have a little bit of growth area to the north, more farmland. We need to be investing in infill development as well, which means taking those properties that are underutilized and turning them into typically multifamily, because that's what would fit in the footprint. So that's one of the things we're doing. And affordable housing is key because, of course, we have a lot of market rate units going in. We need to make sure some of our housing is affordable for people. And I'm on the team that's writing our Affordable Housing Action Plan. We hope to have a draft plan to present to council in January, take it to the public to get their feedback, and then in April the council will consider it, and I hope we'll be able to move forward from there.
We have about 30 seconds. I wanted to ask, public transparency and accountability are big concerns for voters. How do you plan to, meet those concerns?
Sure, I am already doing that through a monthly e-newsletter that I put out. I've been doing it since I ran for Alder. I do it because I want people to know what's going on, know how I'm voting, know why, and it gives them that ability to hold me accountable because it's an honor to be their representative.
How long have you lived in Middleton?
I've been in Middleton since 2017. We moved here for the schools.
Yeah. Well, best of luck to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you both very much.
Good
Appreciate
to see you.
We are facing dangerously cold temperatures this weekend. Here's meteorologist Blaze Keller.
That's right. We're looking at single digits for not only Saturday, but Sunday as well, and waking up both days. Those wind chill values could be anywhere between 15 to 25 degrees below zero Saturday morning, and then 25 to 35 degrees below zero Sunday morning. Here's when that cold air moves in, starting Friday late afternoon, early evening. Again, waking up Saturday is going to be cold, but the coldest morning is is going to be Sunday. Keep that jacket around and on all day Saturday, because even as we go into the afternoon hours, we're at 3:30 here on Future Track. Still feeling in some spots 15 to 25 degrees below zero. If you're lucky, it may feel slightly warmer than that. And then again, we go into Sunday morning feeling likely 25 to 35 degrees below zero. Limit your time and your pet's time outdoors, because frostbite can set in here within about 10 to 30 minutes based on our overnight lows and how fast that wind is going to be blowing, anywhere between 15 to 25 miles per hour out of the northwest. What's going on big picture wise, other than those cold temperatures? A little bit of snow on Friday, especially for folks, I would say, north of the Dells, looking at minor accumulations as a low pressure system tries to move its way through northern parts of the Great Lakes region. But this dominating Arctic high, bringing down that cold, is going to keep it off to our north and east, starting to clear out as we go later into Saturday afternoon, leading to a clear Saturday night. Hence those very cold wind chills waking up on Sunday. And then Sunday afternoon, those winds turn out of the south. That's why we quickly go from the single digits to the 20s from Sunday into Monday. Monday and Tuesday next week looking to be on the quieter side, but we may see a bigger system move through the area by next Wednesday. As of now, it looks like we're going to be a little bit on the warmer side, flirting with the 40s, so we'd see more of a rain turning over to a rain-snow mix Wednesday into Thursday, and then Thursday into Friday. As those temperatures cool on down, that mix turns back over to snow. Right now, it's just something that we're keeping an eye on. I'm not completely buying into it quite yet. It's, about a week away. I'll look to see if it stays on our models, especially our long-range ones, and we'll get back to you because, again, that's a little bit into the future, and we want to keep you guys as updated with the most accurate forecast as possible. Single digits this weekend. Please make sure that you are dressing warmly, and then we're back into the 20s and 30s starting Monday into Tuesday of next week.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Well, ahead of their game against the Broncos, News 3 Now's senior Packers writer Jason Wilde has been keeping up with the team.
He brings us analysis from Green Bay.
It's been almost a month since Josh Jacobs banged his knee on the hard MetLife Stadium turf against the Giants, and it's been an issue ever since. Jacobs has insisted on trying to practice through the injury, and he missed a game against the Minnesota Vikings here at Lambeau Field, but today he missed practice for the second straight time. And Matt LaFleur, before practice, told us it's a bit of a concern.
I mean, he's been battling through it, so, and then more than likely he will not be out there today either, so we'll see how he's feeling tomorrow and then kind of go from there. I think anytime the guy doesn't practice, there's always concern. So we'll see. He's been battling through. It's not, I mean, he is doing everything in his power to get ready to go.
Now, the good news is we talked to Josh Jacobs after practice. He said the problem is that the only way that the bone bruise in his knee will get better is with rest. And they don't have a lot of time for rest. He intends to try and play in Sunday's matchup against the Denver Broncos in Denver and here on Channel 3, kickoff 3:25. But we will have to wait and see what he's listed as on the injury report tomorrow. My guess is that he'll be questionable. We'll have that story and everything else, Packers-Broncos, on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for the Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Thank you, Jason. And you can watch the Packers take on the Broncos right here on WISC TV. 60 degrees in Denver as the game kicks off. It's 3:25, the late game on Sunday.
They're spoiled with that weather.
Yes.
Well, coming up, Billie Eilish fans could be getting everything they wanted. The answer to her question, what was I made for, could be the big screen. We'll explain.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Well, from the song Bad Guy to the big screen, Billie Eilish is taking her tour to the theater.
And a supernatural surprise in tonight's episode of Ghosts. Gwen Baumgartner has your eye on entertainment.
It's a show known for its mystery, humor, and the supernatural. Tonight, television series Ghosts will reveal a long-held secret by character Alberta Haynes, a Prohibition-era jazz singer.
You guys were right to call me out. I was becoming way too obsessed with Alberta.
He's not the first, and he won't be the last.
Alberta is portrayed by actress Danielle Pinnock, who shared her appreciation for the show's writers through this 5th season.
When I think about how plus-size Black women are portrayed on TV, I am so grateful to be in this show because they are showing that we are fully dimensional characters, fully realized humans. We have lives, we have romances as well too, and so I think that's also a part of not only Alberta's evolution, but mine as well as an artist as well.
A new episode of Ghosts airs tonight on CBS and is available to stream anytime on Paramount+. Singer Billie Eilish is following in the footsteps of Taylor Swift and Beyoncé by bringing her world tour to theaters. Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, the tour live in 3D, heads to theaters in March. The immersive film is directed by Eilish and Academy Award winner James Cameron.
Are you ready?
Singer Charli XCX is also expanding her talents to the big screen, taking on the role of Rosa in 100 Nights of Hero. She's using social media to give fans a behind-the-scenes look. The film is labeled a historical fantasy romance and is playing in theaters now. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Blaze and I are in a fight right now.
Go on, tell the viewers.
I love the concert films, but you have a different opinion.
Why? Why do I want to pay to see a concert that I wasn't able to go to, and probably not get the full song, and you're just seeing
but you
clips
can see
of people
it for free.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's corny. It's played out.
Get out of the cold weather.
What?
What?
Yeah, get out of the cold weather and watch.
No one's gonna win this.
And watch some shows this weekend because we're in the single digits.
We'll be right back.
Coming up at 5, buyer's remorse. We continue our team coverage of the property tax hikes Madison voters approved. They're now having to pay. And we bring you an update on a Milwaukee case that could have national implications for how judges conduct their courtrooms. Thanks for watching Live at 4 today. We hope to see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.